What is happening, everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and welcome on back to Mass Effect. So last episode we took care of the Hades Gamma system, and I would like to get a couple more done before we head on down to Artemis Tower and get Liara. So I think, what do we have? The Voyager Cluster, Armstrong, Kepler, Hawking, Argos Rho, and Gemini. Well, some stuff happens in Argos Rho that I'm not sure we want to contend with just yet, so how about we go take care of the Gemini Sigma for this episode. And here we have the Han system, which I think is the next Syndicate base as well, and we also have the Ming system. So let's go check out Ming first, and then we'll go Han and take care of the other Syndicate outpost. That'll square us up ready for when we eventually get to go to the system where Helena Blake is, but we won't be there for a while. It'll take us a while to get to Miss Helena Blake, but I like to kind of see every time you get a main quest done, you end up getting sent back to the Citadel for one reason or another. There's a lot of quests up there, but things don't reset until after main missions. And if you explore the galaxy before you end up going back for those missions, then it just makes things easier and faster. There's some things that you would have to go to the Citadel and then come back out and explore and then go back to the Citadel. But if you explore first, then you could just kind of get all that done before you ever have to bother with that, so... Nothing hidden here. Really, huh? There's nothing hidden in this asteroid belt. It would seem not. We do have the MSV Worthington, though, and what is this thing? The Worthington is a Kowloon class modular conveyor of human design, configured for mixed freight and passenger hauling. The ship appears to be in a shut-down state. The main thrusters are cold, and it is adrift off the orbit of Antiropris. Okay, let's check out this abandoned ghost ship. Something that's always kind of ominous about ghost ships. In the ocean and in space. In fact, space might even make it worse. I think a ghost ship in space is kind of a bigger deal than in the waters, right?
Only basic life support is running.
There could be anything on this ship. Could be an alien species laying eggs in people's chests for all we know, so... That assassin armor might actually be good for Caden. Let's take a look at that. Is that good for you, Caden? More damage protection, but way less shields. I think... So we'd be trading 10 damage protection for like almost 40 shields. I don't think that's worth it. I don't think that's a worthy trade. Yeah, something about seeing an abandoned ship just floating there. There's something foreboding about that, I think.
Did you hear that? Sounded like footsteps.
It continues to be foreboding, huh?
Somebody set that trap. This whole place could be wired.
I would assume that it is, now that we've set one off, and that poisoned both my teammates, so I'm already pissed. Let's get rid of those as we walk through this place very carefully, so that we don't get bombed up again. Progress cautiously through this until we find whoever wants the smoke. Got in this object, Hardened Weave 3. Hardened Weave is good for resisting tech assaults, because sometimes you'll get overheated, and if you have enough Hardened Weave, it won't overheat your weapon, but it's not really worth investing into, although the overheat mechanic in this game is kind of toxic. It's pretty frustrating to get hit with an overheat blast. You kind of just have to sit there like a dummy, not participating in the action, and I walked right into that one. Well, now we're all poisoned. And this would be a great time to showcase why medical interfaces are very useful, because the healing over time totally cures poison too. But we don't have it, so we can't use it. Cut right first. Safer than I thought we'd be so far. We have crew logs here though. Striker and a Lancer. Check out these crew logs.
They say Jacob's gone. They say his brain isn't functioning anymore, and they want to shut off his machines. But Jacob's the only thing in the world that matters to me. I don't know how to help him, and it's tearing me up inside. I just feel so helpless, so damn angry. Dr. Smith gave me some meds to calm down, but I didn't take them. I can't. Not until I figure out a way to help Jacob. I won't give up on him. I won't!
So we had some nut job in here off her meds, and I guess something happened to her lover. Sent her into a little bit of a spiral. See if the captain's deck can shed any more light on that.
Jacob is showing no signs of brain activity. There's nothing more we can do for him. He wouldn't want to be kept alive by machines, so we're going to disconnect the life support. Dr. Smith is worried about Julia's reaction, though. She can't seem to let Jacob go. The stress is making her implants flare up, causing intense migraines.
But she's a
It'll
biotic.
probably be easier for everyone if we don't tell her until after we shut the life support down. Give her a chance to... Julia, what are you doing here? Why are you...
Well, I guess she was eavesdropping on that conversation. I'm guessing with the intense migraines, she's probably an L2 like Caden. Well, there's her lover. Storm 3, Striker, and Scimitar. Check these last logs.
Jacob's not going to make it. His brain was deprived of oxygen for too long. There's nothing any of us can do for him now except let him die with dignity. It's what he would want.
It's what I would want too, honestly.
I'm more worried about Julia now. She's showing signs of severe depression. I gave her some meds that should help, but I better warn the captain.
Didn't warn him fast enough, and it looks like Julia's right outside the door coming to say hello to us. Shotgun in hand. So we're gonna lift you. You're gonna overload it. She'll be cooked before she hit the ground. She did manage to hit us with a carnage though, which literally almost smoked us. Jesus. So this is obviously an unfortunate, tragic case of somebody not being able to let go when they should. This is not her husband anymore. I get it says her husband's body, but this is not him. He's gone. He's a vegetable. This is just his... This is just a shell. And personally, if I was in a coma, give me like 6 months, and if I'm not waking up, then pull the plug, because I wouldn't want to be like this either. This is, at this point, you're like you're a detriment to the people around you. They're clinging on to something they should be moving on from. And, well, we just saw what kind of damage that can cause in a person's psyche. And, well, because she had a tragedy in her life, she decided to take it out on everybody else, and now everyone's dead here too. And since there aren't any corpses here, I imagine she probably just tossed them out the airlock like trash, so... Points for Julia, I suppose, but we're gonna do the right thing here. We're gonna put him to rest like we just put Julia to rest. It's just too bad we didn't get here first to
Looks like that machine is keeping
keep
him
the rest of this crew
alive.
alive.
No brain activity. He's dead. This body is nothing but an empty shell.
Yeah, we should turn the machine off. The zero brain activity speaks for itself. It's just a body that's being pumped around with oxygen.
No point leaving him there like a vegetable.
Your call, Commander. But maybe we should wait until we know more about what's going on before we do anything.
I'm pretty positive in my opinions on this, so...
You did the right thing, Commander.
I think so too. I wouldn't want to exist like that. And like Caden said, there's no brainwaves, so he's gone. He's never waking up. The brain's dead. It's just a shell, a husk of a man. And she killed her entire crew over a husk of a man because she couldn't handle her own self-pity. Which is really frustrating to watch and listen to, right? Like, everybody has tragedy that happens in life. Everybody has an excuse to be a piece of shit if they wanted to. But she took it to the extreme of that and decided to kill all her companions and toss them out the airlock, so... Well, at least now I would say she's with her husband, but if there is a hell, that's where she went. She definitely isn't with her husband, because he seemed like a stand-up guy, and so did the rest of the crew, to be honest. They all seemed very concerned about Julia, and like they were just trying to help her. It's like he just cracked, took it out on everybody else, and that's the problem. Like mages in Dragon Age, biotics, when they crack, they can sure do a lot of damage. What are you supposed to do? I mean, she almost killed my ass. She hit me with a carnage as soon as she opened the door. She wasn't trying to talk. She probably just assumed that I was here to take her husband away from her, like she thought the rest of the crew was, even though circumstances is what took her husband from her. Obviously the game didn't tell us what kind of illness he ended up getting, or whether it was an accident, maybe he hit his head really hard exploring in space, something like that. We'll never know, but what we do know is she shouldn't have killed her entire crew for it. And little stories and little interesting things like that is something else that I'm so fond of these games for. The open world exploration aspect of this, where you can run into little stories like the hostage situation, like Julia there and her husband who's comatose. A lot of that is super interesting to me. And I'm gonna try and pronounce this one, Patantanlis. Patantanlis. Yeah, I love those little moral dilemmas there, and they gave us the choice too. We chose whether we wanted to turn it off or not, right? It goes again to show, like, if you believe in life at that point. And I don't know about you guys, but I would definitely want you to pull the plug. If I'm a vegetable, like the brain is gone, there's literally no way that I'm ever coming back to consciousness. Just pull it. Don't sit there and pity me. Don't sit there and worry yourself and stress yourself out about me. Just pull the plug. Cut the cord. You need to move on with your life and find something that'll make you happy. You don't need my vegetable ass sitting there waiting for a miracle to happen. Alright, so here we are on Mavagon, and this is going to be the Syndicate hideout, and we have some debris back here. So I will go ahead and cut this episode here, and I'll catch you guys when we hit the Syndicate hideout, because I got some exploring to do in the tundra. But one thing I did forget to mention, actually, about this game is you'll see that in the bottom corner there, you see level 2 hazards, and I forgot to mention that sometimes in these worlds, you can't actually just explore as you will. You see that level 2 hazard bar going up there in the bottom left corner. If that reaches the maximum level of that, then you will die. So some worlds do have hazards, and we see some executed civilians or scientists here. Not surprising, considering it's a Syndicate world. I'm sure those were the ones that did that. The medium armor for Garrus, and we have our first hard decryption, so let's see how we get on with this. Nice and easy. Explorer 3 and Onyx 3. I'm interested in that light armor for Garrus, or medium armor rather. Yeah, I guess the Syndicate people came here with a science team already here, and I guess they just cleaned out the inhabitants so they could do what they wanted on this world, turn it into a slave-driving, red sand-slinging shithole. So that is better. So we'll have you in this until you can wear this. The medium armor we got for him is quite good, actually. That's 23 and 120. You just need to get him the ability to wear medium armor, which maybe if we clear out all these Syndicate scum nice and quickly, we might get a level up out of it. Anyways, we do have a couple more things to hit while we're on this planet, so I'll split it up again and I'll catch you when we're at the Syndicate base. Alrighty, so we've cleaned up this planetary exploration, so that does set us up right on time to hit this last Syndicate base. Looks like they got some heavy turrets out here. That's what that big red icon is. And interesting to note that they have Alliance turrets. This is not just like random turrets. Specifically named Alliance turrets. So this crime syndicate here has some Alliance funding, or at least some access to black market weapons. They're using military hardware here. Whether they just overtook an Alliance base, or whether they have a backroom contact is, I guess, yet to be seen. Although there is an organization in this game that certainly has ties with the Alliance that gets a hold of their weapons whenever they like, for whatever price they like, and I'm sure they sell to all kinds of people to get their funding, so my money would be on the Cerberus organization for arming this syndicate with weapons like that. But no proof of that, just my speculation based on what the game shows us. We will drop a save before we start the violence inside this outpost. I'd hate to have to redo that whole section. One thing to note too, I guess, since I haven't mentioned that about those open world segments, if you don't save, the game doesn't autosave when you're open world exploration. It doesn't autosave. It autosaves once when you hit the deck. When you first land, it'll autosave. After that, you're on your own for the whole time you're here until you get back on the Normandy. So save after you get certain objectives, especially if one of them was hard to drive up to on like a mountain or something. Because if you happen to get your Mako flipped and exploded, or die inside one of these bases, you would have to do the whole planetary exploration part again. You're a Krogan, and I almost made a mistake by not seeing you on time, but fortunately, Parabiotics compels you. And the power of chem rounds will completely nullify your immunity and health regeneration. Let's take this nice and slow, because I'm sure there's some snipers here. That sounded like a Krogan. It is. Lift him. You sabotage too. We'll both sabotage. Okay then. I said lift him. Thank you. Krogan are tough. Don't play games with them. Krogan are real tough enemies. That is literally almost my entire usage case for the power combo I was telling you about earlier with lift and throw, where you push them off the map. I almost always use that on Krogan. He got boxed. Sniper dies first, of course. Is that Garrus that I punched? Garrus, was that you? No, I can't hit my teammates. Okay, when he showed up next to me for a second, I thought it was Garrus that I punched out. Come behind that. Second Crime Lord defeated. That's both of them. No doubt Helena Blake will be overjoyed to learn that these two scum are no longer a problem, and I am overjoyed that soon her kind of scum will no longer be a problem either. But we are going to check this place for loot real quick. But that is the end of this star system, actually. This one's a nice and short one. That's just the Julia occurrence, and then this. Some of these systems will open up new sections when we complete more main quests, but we'll do that when we get to them. Obviously, we can't do anything about that now. Some of them will seem a little short, but then you'll come back later. Wetware kits can be really good here. So we have a Unity amp and a Solaris amp, which will be good because Caden doesn't have any upgrades for his amps yet at all. But those wetware kits are going to have a lot of biotic goodies. Medical stations, surprisingly, you would think that they would just be medical supplies, right? But it's not. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. It's just the same as any other thing. Heavy armor and medium armor, weapons, ammo upgrades. I don't know, not sure how they end up in medical stations, but there it is. Perhaps there was a patient where they had to remove the armor and they stored it there. You can kind of headcanon that away. Basic rounds and high explosives. Technician's kits is usually, again, technician stuff. Like, it'll be armor mods and omni-tool kind of things. Scimitar, sniper, and gladiators. Anything sneakier on the side. Just metagel. I say just, like that's not really, really useful, but... Alrighty, so based on how... This was actually kind of a little bit of a short episode. Maybe we sneak something else in the back end of this. It's not like I don't have time to. Do I want to do Artemis Tau next? Because if I do Artemis Tau next episode, I can actually get the surrounding planets done before that, and then give Liara her own episode. You know what? Maybe we just have this one as a short one, right? We'll keep it concise. We'll keep each section of the galaxy its own episode. I think that might be the better deal. Because for as long as the recording itself is only going to be around 17 minutes, the actual, the episode will only be 17 minutes. The actual recording is more like 45, because I've been doing all the planet-side stuff in between. The time I'm seeing is actually kind of deceiving. Let's head on back to the Normandy. It might be a good idea to talk to some companions before we go get Liara too. Let me open the map real fast. Yeah, so we definitely did Han and Ming. Well, that's these two scratched off. Maybe next episode we'll do Argos Row, because Argos Row is going to have a bunch of things that we will have to dive into. And then, since we'll have cut off the midpoint, then we'll go get Liara. And then after Liara, I'll probably hop into the other open world sections and get those done accordingly. But I do want to go downstairs. We'll check our locker. We'll re-up on our metagel, and I'll sell a bunch of the stuff I just found. Because we need to... It's way easier to upgrade your companions by just hitting the lockers than worrying about the rest of it. And I think some of the crew might have some chit-chat dialogues for us, but... save that for next episode. There totally might not be any at all, so... A lot of the main dialogue comes in when you find things for your companions or do main quests. But sometimes it does reset randomly. Let's see. What do we get? Do we get anything for you, Tally? We have no Aquarian armor. What do we get pistol-wise? 128. Looks like all our pistols are inferior. Shotguns. We got two similar ones now. I ended up giving Rex the other one, so... Speaking of Rex, do we have an AR for you? We do. And those biotic tools we get have a 5 cooldown bonus and 8 cooldown bonus. So the Solaris 3 we're going to give to Caden. And I guess you can have the Unity one for the duration. Because 15 duration is pretty good. He has Warp, so Warp will be better to have a duration on it than anything else. Still no Krogan armor. Garrus. You already have one of the best ARs that I had access to. That Tyrian armor is the one we already passed on by, so I don't think Caden, outside of giving him the Solaris amp, I don't think there'll be any reason to have your menu open, right? You probably already have the best pistol I had access to give you at the time. Plus, we're switching him out real soon. Based on our level and where we're at right now, he'll be gone soon. He won't be in the party for too much longer. That sounded dark. He'll be gone soon. I promise I'm not going to stuff him out the airlock. He's just not going to be on the team. 23, 120. We got Phoenix 3, which is way more damage protection and only 8 less shield. So that's actually... We'll do that. We'll give her Phoenix, because that's the gear she came in anyways. It's just an upgraded version of it. And you already have a pretty spicy AR, so that is about all we have to do this episode. So I'm going to sell up all our goodies that we have on the side and wrap this one on up. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Mass Effect. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.